Hello fellow dragons, it's Shane from Astral Dragon Gaming, and yeah, it's another update. It's basically me talking about my game that I'm still trying to get around to developing. I got some maps made up by my son Ethan, and these are just some of them I'm doing. It's a desert world, a basic sort of terrestrial world, temperate world, and a kind of ice planet as well. The basic idea is that I'm still trying to follow the original Fantasy Star, where you had 3 set worlds, and I am thinking of making a 4th sort of world that you have to explore, but that's down on the track once I get the sort of basic gist of what I'm doing. So the basic idea that you'll start on the terrestrial world, which is foresty, bit of sand here, bit of that, bit of volcano, some dungeon crawling through all the various dungeons, which all of them will have, and basically you'll have an overworld where you grind a lot and you'll have cities that are scattered around. Then you'll sort of, early on, you'll move on from there to go to the desert world, which I'm thinking the main inhabitant is going to be a kind of evolved otter, because the world used to be a water world, and then it got basically altered because of the actual events contained within Shattered Sun, and they had to force themselves to evolve to become more land based, but they're still basically otters. And then we've got the final world, which will be an ice world, and I'm still not sure what the main race that's going to be on the ice world itself. I didn't want each of the world's main inhabitants to be all just the human race, because that's pretty bog standard, and also it's kind of boring. I want there to be more of an expansive sort of understanding. Imagine a star system that had a diverse life culture right across the board, and that's what I want. I want a diversity that really speaks of the tragedy that Shattered Sun wreaks upon the inhabitants of these worlds, and I want people, when they're playing it, to be caught up in this kind of idealism about that. Not that anyone else, it probably end up just being a grind fest and people just grinding until they finish the level or finding a shortcut, which is another thing I'm planning on trying to put in, as making a kind of a really hard shortcut that can be done, but you would have to have played the game once, or at least follow a guide to get to that shortcut thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. That's another thing altogether. But let's describe the first world and we'll work on that. I haven't worked on titles for the names of the planets yet. I'm still thinking about that. I've got a lot of little different ideas here and there, but So anyway, the first one is the Terran world, which is basically where the humans live. It will be mostly unchanged by the shattering of the sun, and it will be very much just a normal sort of world. There'll be forests, there'll be plains, there'll be little desert-like structures here and there, and be rocky areas and all sorts of other things like that. But it won't be super big or different from where we live now. And then we'll move on to the desert world, and it will be a very stark, harsh world that is just all desert. And it'll be windswept, there'll be sandstorms and environmental effects that I think are important to put into a world that is basically ravaged by the fact that most of its water has been destroyed, I suppose. Because I'm thinking it's kind of like a Mars idea. Like, imagine we have Earth and then Mars and then something like Neptune or Pluto or something like that, where the entirety of the world has been changed by a catastrophic event of the sun shattering. Now, another thing that I won't cover as I'm talking about the shattered sun itself is the sun itself is shattered, but it still works. That's where I want the more important thing to understand, that it still provides light, still provides energy, but it's in pieces floating in the center of this little solar system, and I want a hidden mystery about that you'll have to play the game to understand. But this is my basic idea, so I'm hoping that it will come out nice. I'm still looking at a lot of different RPGs on the same sort of vein. I want it to be a turn-based RPG. I know that's traditional, it's like RPG Maker all over the place, and I want it to be something interesting to play, but I don't want it to be something that's groundbreaking, because I can't do groundbreaking. I'm only a 42-year-old guy that just sort of dabbling around and loves to play games, and that's part of the reason why I put up this channel, and it's part of the reason why I continue sort of looking at games and understanding and trying to make something interesting, because I want to contribute to this groundbreaking thing that is games, you know? Like, in the last 30 years of my life, games have changed so much. I came in at the back end when, you know, a pixel was almost 2/3 of a screen sort of thing at times. That's how big you're looking at. Like, you were looking at like 100 by maybe 75 pixels on a screen, which was an Atari. And to look at it now where you get 4K resolution or stuff, like, I don't even use 4K. I use 1080p monitors, because I don't see the point. I don't see the rationale to really put in as many pixels as possible. What am I going to benefit from that? I'm old. Like, I'm 40 now, and so my eyes are just going, sort of something like that. But yeah, other than that, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you on the next video. Please put stuff down. I'm more than happy to sort of take input from people. People want to talk to me about the game itself, or even just input ideas about the game. I really would like to have a discussion. You can hook me up on Twitter, you can hook me up on my Facebook page for Astral Dragon Gaming, and also I'm on the Instagram as well. So yeah, talk to me, chat with me, whatever. Other than that, I hope you're all having a fabulous day, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye for now.